We didn't have the introduction.
Which
Mr.
one you want?
Producer. Oh my God.
You have to order these things up.
Oh,
What introduction did you want?
I don't know. It's too late now. I already introduced myself.
Okay, well there you go. That's the best one of all anyway. It's coming right from the horse's mouth.
No.
No?
My name is Rolando Larraz. I am Face the Tribune, and if you don't have anything to worry about, you're not doing anything wrong, you can face the Tribune. With me today is no other than Mr. Producer, my co-host, Mr. Clark Philly, and my guest today is, what's the matter? You got scared of the microphone?
No, you said that Mr. Williams was gonna be here.
No, he's not. I guess not. So you coming or you?
Okay.
What did he say?
I'm coming to help you interview him. I don't know.
Oh, I guess I'm not a good interviewer.
Well, anyways, I'm here.
Yes.
Hello.
Clark Philly is doing the production and the co-hosting and everything else. Well, we are doing the Donald Trump, the new Donald Trump. The new Donald Trump, it is more presidential.
Oh, is that it?
God.
The tone.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
tone.
they want him to be a hypocrite.
A wimp.
They want him to be a hypocrite. They want it to be that way.
Anything but what he is.
Yes.
They don't like what he is.
They're not used to have those people telling the truth, telling what is the best thing for the country, what is the best thing for our future, you know. They want little wimps that are afraid to talk.
That they can buy off with special interest money.
Yeah, that's it.
Control them 100%. Like Joe Lieberman, you know, you're gonna kowtow to what we want, or we're gonna get rid of you.
Yeah.
And then Joe Lieberman has to run as an independent, and then he wins.
Yeah, that's true.
And then he resigns. Or he
Yeah.
doesn't run for re-election again. So anyways, he went out teaching the Democrats a big lesson. You know, you always don't get to be able to control everybody under your little puppet strings.
Yeah.
And that was a great message. More people should look at those things and understand what they mean, instead of looking through everything with rose-colored glasses that is not reality.
Well, he did the right thing. I think I probably would have done the same thing. I win, and then now I say, chop it, you know, take it. I don't want him anymore. And, you know, don't tell me you can control me because it's not true, you know. And this is what people don't want to understand. These political figures, these politicians are that way. They come, they go out there, peddle your vote, because that's what they do. Peddle.
Buy your vote.
Eh?
What do you mean peddle?
Yeah, they
Who's
peddle.
peddling?
The politician is peddling.
They're buying. They're
Well,
buying your vote with promises of Santa Claus that never materialize. They promise you everything and then
so
they
what
don't
isn't
deliver.
that peddling? What
Yeah,
is peddling?
it is. It's buying.
In English.
Peddling is selling something, so yeah, they're peddling. But
Selling
they're
something
selling
that is
something
not,
they're never gonna.
that you're never gonna get,
Right.
something, you know, hustling you for the vote. They go out there, they carry your baby in their shoulder, and even if the baby pee, they laugh and "Well, he was so happy to see me, he peed in my suit." You know, these damn kids, I don't know why this and that, you know, and then they go out there, they win the election, and they don't even remember your name anymore. They don't even remember then your kid pee his pants, and that's the way it is. They don't know you no more. So now, if you want to talk to these politicians, you have to go through a train of people, the secretary, the liaison, the assistant, the other assistant. Oh no, you need to talk to the assistant for social service. Oh no, you need to talk to the assistant for interviews. You need to talk to the assistant. They got more assistants at the expense of your vote and your money because you taxpayers are the one that paying for those people that they hire to protect themselves from you. You're paying the salaries, but you become the pest, the foe, and that's what is not good. And I got the feeling that Donald Trump can change all that. Donald Trump is going to make everybody to become normal. Everybody's going to become equal. Everybody, and I just came from a meeting where they wanted to know what is there for the citizens. What is there for the citizens? Well, as far as I'm concerned, if you're using private money, if you're using businesses to operate, you cannot promise the citizens anything, because it's not that way, you know.
How about a voice?
That's all they need, a voice.
I think Donald Trump's the voice.
Yeah,
It sure as hell ain't Hillary Clinton, that's for damn sure.
yeah. I tell you,
So let's have a voice.
So now what, brown cow? Now
Now
what?
they found another 16,000 or something, the FBI recently,
Yes.
16,000 more Hillary emails that have just been unleashed. And
But you
what,
know-
what are they going to show?
But let me tell you, Clark, I believe that the FBI is playing the same games as the Democrats and Hillary Clinton and Obama, and they're playing the same game.
Well, one of the low information people are going to say, there's a lot of smoke here. Jesus Christ, and more emails and more emails, and now the WikiLeaks and the DNC dead bodies, that are linked kind of with the DNC and possibly their nominee like Hillary Clinton. Why does the DNC have 3 dead bodies linked to them from the convention time frame? Why? One guy was on the way to talk to the FBI and got shot in the back outside his apartment at 4 in the morning.
But it wasn't the DNC.
Isn't this smoke? No, it's somebody that knew a lot of information about the DNC conspiracy to nominate Hillary Clinton over all comers like Bernie Sanders, and they were probably fixing it, I would say, for sure. And he probably had information. Why would the FBI want to talk to him?
I tell you, I don't know why, how. There are people that still believing in Hillary Clinton.
It's amazing. It's mind-boggling.
It's really mind what?
Mind-boggling.
I think it's mind-bothering. It's bothering me to see how people can be that naive.
Well, it is. It's just beyond naive. It's just plain stupid. Okay, let's talk about what it is. A spade's a spade. It's goddamn, you're an idiot if you don't think this lady's the worst candidate ever to be president. There's no way she's qualified to be anything. And the mainstream media is just absolutely despicable. Look at this headline. Election update. National polls show the race tightening, but state polls don't.
Say that again.
Election update. National polls show the race tightening, but state polls don't. They can't just make a statement that might be supporting Trump in a way, right? They have to put a caveat in there. Oh, but state polls don't. What? Why say anything? They just can't give the man any credit. Just can't do it. Now you go down and you look at the polls. And the difference between the poll this week and a few days ago, Trump up 3, Trump up 7, Trump up 1, Trump up 5, Trump up 1, Trump up 1, overall up 2. Now that's the difference, okay? It doesn't mean he's leading the polls. It means that's the trend. Trump up in every poll. But state polls don't show that. I mean, it's just vicious lies.
Because I believe, I don't know, I'm not an expert in politics, I believe that still the Democrats is still running the show in different states. You know, it's like regardless of what anybody said, and this is probably why nothing surprised me because I don't take things for granted. I believe Harry Reid is still running this show over here. Harry Reid is manipulating the MGM, the MGM manipulate the culinary union. So if you look at it's not tied between Harry Reid and the culinary union, but there is plenty ties between MGM and the culinary union because they have a reason to be tied because they hire people from the culinary union and everything is a game for these Democrats. And what bothers me even more is that the Republicans are participating in these games, by, nobody, what did they say? Republicans against Trump and all that stuff. If you cannot follow the party line, then renounce to the party, completely sign out, get out of the way, and don't go back to go to become,
Lead, follow, or get the hell out of the way. Is that the statement?
yeah. I don't see any reason why we need to be, manipulated. I put a call to a guy that is running for the assembly, I will know Congress. And the reason that I put a call to him is because the affiliation is no party. He's not a Democrat, he's not a Republican, he's not an independent.
None of the above?
None. He's no party.
Good, that's what we need.
And I put a call to him, but he hasn't called back yet. I don't know who his boss is. I don't know who owns him. But a person that has no party should not have a boss, but.
No, he should. The people that elect him, that's his boss.
Oh, the people will not tell him not to come to the Tribune. The people will not tell him not to appear.
So if he doesn't belong to a party, who's telling him?
I have no idea. I hope it's not a socialist party telling him behind the scene, stuff like that.
Well, the solution is make all parties illegal. Organizations make them illegal.
Well,
Very
that
simple.
cannot happen from one day to another one.
Well,
It cannot happen from day to night.
the movement can. You elect people that are on the same wavelength. I think Trump is probably the closest we've ever had to somebody that could be very easily against both parties and could very easily spearhead a movement like that. Look what the party did to him. Republican Party all signs a agreement that every one of them's going to back whoever the nominee is, and then they break it. What is that? Is that a party that deserves recognition in this country?
No.
No, they're despicable. They're liars. They're cheaters. They're a bunch of dishonest people. Look at the DNC. They have this special delegates. What the hell are those? They're a fix. They're a fix.
That clock is stuck on 12 o'clock, right?
Uh-oh, yeah, something happened. Oh, well.
I don't know who was the
Screwed up
last
the
person.
battery, yeah.
I don't know who was
either.
the last person who touched that watch,
I don't know.
that clock, but
It was a test to see if you really could see it.
but I tell you, I believe that the new Donald Trump, I'm not that crazy about it, but that's what the people wanted, and that's what is going to make the scale balance different. We're going to make it different in the scale. I agree and I accept it because I think it needs to be done that way.
This election is really a very simple point, and that is we need an outsider. The insiders have not worked for decades now. We're facing $20 trillion in debt, and that's primarily attributed to the fact that these insiders on both parties, their goal is to spend us into oblivion because that's all they know how to do. They don't know how to run the economy. And they've created this problem. Insiders have created this problem by doing what the special interest money wants them to do, like George Soros's and Move.org and all these creeps like this. That's what's causing the downfall of the political system. And we need an outsider. That's the goal of this election. And don't lose sight of that, people. You voted for an outsider in the nomination process, and you need to follow through. And when you listen to the mainstream media about all this crap they're shoving down your throat, about, well, he's against this, he's against that. No, he's against insiders. That's what he's against. So elect him, see what happens. Be
Yeah,
the first time in decades we've actually had somebody that's not affected by these people that are inside the system trying to destroy us.
that's what I said before. You
Yeah.
know, you have to open your eyes and make sure that these people don't manipulate you with the cynical behavior. You know, I don't like that, and I think we in Nevada need to make sure that we are more up to date in the political thing. The national politics, it can be, it's not all up to us. We need to worry about the politicians in here. You know, we need to stop listening to Harry Reid, uh, controlling the MGM, and you know, Harry Reid saved the MGM, you know, and now he is
Saved it from what?
for going down.
The stock was $120 not that long ago. Now it's $20. So what did he stop?
Well, but before that, and they were in trouble. Before that, they were in trouble.
Well, the
And,
stock did go down to 10.
And that's how Harry Reid got that guy, Jim, whatever his name is.
Miriam?
Yeah. To be his puppet. And that's how, you know, I don't understand how people with that kind of money can be influenced or controlled by a little old man. Then in 6 more months, he will have no power whatsoever, you know, or supposed to not to have any power. You know, once he get out of the Senate, he would be a nobody, you know. And that's why we have to make sure that we don't elect anybody that is controlled by him. We have to elect people that are not owned by him, because otherwise he will still be running the show. And that's the problem with that stuff, you know.
The old backroom deals from yesteryear, smoke-filled rooms. Politics is supposed to be open meeting laws and all that. Remember, yeah, try to find an open meeting. You can't. All this stuff and all the deals are made like with the county commission behind closed doors. And they come out for their photo ops and everything in front of the cameras. Everything's already been decided. And then they'll let the people speak, right, for what, 20 seconds or whatever they allow you?
3 minutes.
Yeah, well, good luck with that. I mean, you're not gonna get anything out, and then you're cut off, and then next, and then, what are the lights? Oh, all green lights, so there
I
you go.
assume that the half a minute it would be the introduction. Hi, my name is so and so. I live in Las Vegas, and I'm here today to do this and to tell you that, like you care, but you know. When I go over there and I talk, it's because somehow I feel that I can embarrass them, you know, and I have something that I wanted to ask them, and probably in the next two county commissioners meeting, I'm going to go there and ask my question and see if anybody is up to date and what's going on. Or the city council for that matter, you know, but
Well, there's been some very suspicious things that have gone on for years and years and years. And I think we need a good investigative body here in this town, led by somebody. The Review Journal is making pronouncements that they have 3 new staff members and this and that coming that are into corruption and this and that. Well, we'll see where that goes to, you
you're
know.
not gonna go nowhere,
Well,
you
that's
know
the
that.
problem, but what I'm
You know
saying
that.
is,
First of all,
where
when
they're
they go,
saying it needs to go is where we do need to go. Where
first
they
of
go there
all,
or not's questionable.
when you go to the courthouse and they get the door shut in their face, you know, and if they get lucky and they find somebody, then will talk to them. When they get back to the newspaper and the editor say, "Oh no, we're not going to publish that. No, forget about it." You know, it's not going to happen, my friend. It's not going to happen. You know.
Well, the fact that they make pronouncements like that indicates to me that that's what's needed. Now, I realize they're probably not gonna do it, but why are they making a pronouncement like that?
To make it look good.
Exactly, but that's what's needed.
To make themselves look good.
Right, but
To make the newspaper look good.
somebody needs to hold somebody's feet to the fire and make sure it happens. It might not happen with the Review Journal, but it needs to happen with the Las Vegas Tribune and whoever else can get behind it, because that's what's needed. Corruption is a cancer on everything. It's a cancer on Nevada. It's a cancer on this country. That's what destroys nations.
Unfortunately, my friend, I'm not a blind person. I realize that Las Vegas Tribune is not big enough to do that. My hope when I write something like that, when I write articles like your case, when I write articles like Christine Lobato's case, or Ron Martinson's case, or any of those cases, or uh, Ed Yulin's case, you know, with the marijuana dispensary, you know, even if I don't agree with the legalizing marijuana, that's my personal opinion, that doesn't count. You know, when I write about those things, my hope is that somebody from the outside, somebody like those 3 people that came here, those 2 people that came here from the LA Times and made some noise. I'm hoping that somebody will read the Las Vegas Tribune online and they will come out with, hey, let's go to Las Vegas and hit on this case. Look at this, then Cuban wrote this. Maybe we can write this in a real English.
You look at those were like 4 articles written from those 2 people from the LA Times. And I think they were published for 4 Sundays in a row. Those were hard-hitting, truthful exposure of corruption in the judicial system here in Nevada. They were far, I mean, I
And
don't
then
know what happened at the result of that, but those were goddamn
nothing
incredible
happened.
stories.
Nothing
Well, then
happened.
you go flip to
And
the,
then you got 2 weeks later, 2 weeks later after those two articles came out, the Review Journal reprint. That should have been an embarrassing for them. They reprint the whole article. You know, they have an office over there. They got sources over there. They have people in there, and they could not come out with stories like that. You know, that should be an embarrassing. That should be.
well, it's embarrassing enough that you have to have reporters come here from LA to print a story like that. That's embarrassing in and of itself. It's crazy.
It's an emergency.
It's absolutely sick. And then we go from that type of a scandal, and we go to the guardianship scandal that was being perpetrated here in Nevada, where people with a few
I'm
dollars
doing
to their
very
name end up getting old or what have you,
Yeah.
end up with some at least maybe deficiencies
Okay.
that come from old age, and then somebody gets a hold of them like a Jared Schaefer or whatever, who uses that as a tool to get themselves enriched. So they point to a person that may have, oh, maybe a little onset dementia or something. So you can portray that in a way that the person is not capable of taking care of himself anymore, which is not true in 99% of the cases. But a case can be made when you have a snake like a Jared Schaefer portraying somebody that way, when the judges and everybody that he's going before with these statements are in on it. That's the scam. The thing has already been predetermined that we're going to steal this person's money, and that's the way it's going to come out. So present whatever, and we'll rule that way, and that's it. And this poor guy under guardianship now has got nothing to say about it. And then here, some relative from Ohio finds out that this is going on to Aunt Mary or whatever, so they come to town, and then they find out that the deck's restacked against them because the Nevada court system has completely hijacked Aunt Mary, and nobody can have access to her. You, as probably maybe the closest living relative, no longer have access to your relative because Jared Schaefer is putting a block between you and your relative. And the judge goes right along with it because the judge's coffers are getting feathered up by Jared Schaefer also. So it's an out and out theft is what it
I
is.
tell you, I went to family court one day. I can't remember the case now, and Schaefer was sitting in the audience, and every time the judge, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the judge was Steve Jones, and Schaefer was sitting over there, and he was moving his head, yes or no, and that's the way the judge should rule.
So he had strings attached from his head right to the
I wrote
judge's lips.
I wrote that in the paper. I mentioned the name of the judge. I mentioned but do you think anybody do anything?
No, because it's
No,
fixed.
because they cover up for each
Of
other.
course.
And this is what it is insultive. And then they say, oh no, that could have been a coincidence. Oh no, they don't do that. Come on, Rolando. Do you know they don't do that stuff? Oh yeah? Okay.
When you have the judge and all the lawyers in the courtroom in on it, okay, it's like my analogy is you're a poker player from the firehouse in Des Moines, and you go to Nevada, Las Vegas, because you're a great poker player. You're the best in your town. All you do all day long at the firehouse is play poker. So the other firemen got together, they funded your little expedition to Nevada because they know you're going to kill them. Right? You show up here in Nevada, you go to a poker palace, whatever, and you sit down at a table with 6 or 7 professional poker players that are from Las Vegas. And who else is at that table is the dealer. Okay, now I analyze that. It's just like going to a courtroom. You have all these lawyers in the courtroom, and you have the judge who's the dealer. Now you're going to go into that courtroom. You might be the greatest, smartest guy in the world, and you got the greatest case in the world. But they're going to get
I'm the
every
best
single
lawyer.
friggin' dime you have, because that's the way the system's set up. You don't have a friggin' prayer, because they're already fixed. They're gonna steal your money, and then what position do you get yourself in after they steal all your money? Is how do you fight these bastards?
It's insulting.
Yeah, how do you fight these bastards? Because their goal was to break you, so you had no more money to fight them. I have a case where judges are reserving my money in their coffers in case I have the audacity to appeal one of their illegal rulings.
Yeah.
They're holding my money hostage.
Yes, sir. That's the way
It is the most pathetic, corrupt system in any world, any place. Third world country, it doesn't matter. There may be other systems in this country as corrupt as Nevada, but there is none worse. None. It couldn't possibly be.
And the irony of this whole thing is that you tell somebody they have not experienced any kind of a court drama and they don't believe you. You tell people what happened. You tell people that when the police want you to snitch in somebody and you deny, they come to your place of business or your place of work or your place of living, whatever, wherever they're gonna get you, and they plant 2 kilos of cocaine to make you suffer for daring go against the witches, you know. You tell people that and they say, oh yeah, sure, please, come on. And then you got the people that they tell you, then they, you know, you go to court and then one of the co-defendants is the son of a police detective, and they are going to let the guy go, and the one that is not the guilty one, go to prison for the rest of their life. They think that you lying. You know, when you go and you tell people that there are people that was not in Las Vegas when the crime was committed, and they all they ask is for a DNA test to be presented. They will be willing to pay for the DNA test. The court will not pay for, the system will not pay for, nobody else but the defendant fighting for the life that they so
You're
much.
supposed to be innocent till proven guilty, but in a case like that, you're guilty until you prove your innocence. You're trying to spend your money to prove your innocence, and they won't let you do that.
They don't let you do that. They don't let you do
Not
that.
funny,
Between
boys.
the judge and the prosecutor, they block you.
It's
You know.
fixed. Yeah.
And then people, you tell that to people and say, oh, come on, that cannot be true. That
Well, it is
cannot
true.
be true.
As a matter of fact, that's the norm.
You know, and you know, I don't believe that the people in Las Vegas realize how rigged, using Donald Trump's words, how rigged the judicial system
Everything's
is in
becoming
Las
rigged.
Vegas. You know,
Yeah.
and then they walk around with the head up like they are
All rise.
God gift to the world. I wrote an article about that.
Yeah. All rise.
I wrote an article.
Why do we have to rise? Why do we have to get up?
Well, you gotta have rice to have the beans. You eat rice and beans, right? Oh, that's not that kind of rice.
Might as well be.
Oh my God. Rice.
And that's what sets up the corruption.
Fried rice?
Because we have to bow down to these supposed supreme beings who, in most cases, my experiences in Nevada with the judicial system, these people aren't qualified. They don't even know the friggin' basics of the law. How do these people get to be a judge? And they don't know fundamental constitutional law. Shouldn't a judge sitting here in Nevada know that they can't rule, let's say as an example, on property in New Hampshire? They're not a New Hampshire judge. They're a Nevada judge.
And when you got crazy, when you are crazy and you start writing articles like that in Las Vegas Tribune, the campaign manager and the candidates that are affected with that, they tell the rest of the candidates, do not spend any money with Las Vegas Tribune. Do not, let's put him out of business. You know, then we have to go out of town to get advertising to survive, not even to make money, but to survive, you know, and that's what it is. They did it to Hank Greenspan back in 1952. They did it. The hotels got together and they pulled all the advertising out of the Las Vegas Sun. Luckily, in those days, you got people that have balls and they said, wait a minute, this is not right. And then they call off the block. But because that's what it was, it's a blockade. A blockade, like they blockade Cuba from the United States, well, they blockade the advertising, even though there was only 3 casinos back then. You know, the 3 casinos didn't advertise in Las Vegas Sun for a while because Hank Greenfield had the audacity to criticize the Godfather, that Senator McCarran, you know, and they went crazy, you know.
Well, that goes on. It goes on every
But
day somehow.
they doing it through the little Las Vegas Tribune. Let me tell you, when you get a powerful, the largest newspaper in the state to attack behind the scenes a little tiny weekly newspaper like Las Vegas Tribune and steal the papers from the rack, then you gotta say something is wrong. Because I tell you, if I have the power that the Las Vegas Review Journal think they have, I would have never worried about a little tiny newspaper except make sure that our articles will be better than their articles, you know. But and everything they do is to clear the road for them. They wanted to be the only ones. Look what they did with Las Vegas Sun. Look what this is a disgrace to the journalist business. They put him inside the newspaper. They put him in there like, and you saw the paper today. It was anything there beside wire service from another state. You know, everything then appear in Las Vegas Sun. I don't know how Brian Greenspan can walk around like his shit don't stink, you know, because I tell you, I'd be embarrassed. I'd rather be Las Vegas Tribune than a Las Vegas Sun. You keep your money, Brian Greenfield. I keep my dignity. Because if your father would be alive, he would have been dying again. Because Hank Greenfield was not like that. You know, it was not like that. But that's the way it is. You know, the Review Journal tried to put the North Las Vegas Valley Times out of business. They tried to put the advertiser out of business, the news out of business. Uh, they got Las Vegas Sun locked up over there with 3 pages or 4 pages, you know. And this is the only city in the United States with only one newspaper. 50 years ago, 40 years ago, we have 3 newspapers with 2 editions each, morning edition and evening edition, you know, PM edition or whatever you call the afternoon edition. You know, 3 newspapers, 2 of them have 2 editions daily, no weekly, 2 editions, and then finally they got rid of the Valley Time, and then Las Vegas Sun became the evening paper, and then finally they put them inside the paper so nobody read it. Nobody read it. There's nothing to read anyway. Maybe once in a while they have an editorial. I don't know because I don't read it. I can tell you that if I was Brian Greenwood, I'd be ashamed of myself. And I tried to defend him a couple of times, especially when his siblings was making a deal with the Review Journal to close the paper, shut it off, you know. At least, I guess when he go to San Diego, to La Jolla to play golf, he can tell people that he owned the Daily Las Vegas Sun. You know, they don't know that the Daily Las Vegas Sun is included inside the Daily Review Journal. You know, and that's why I always said when the Review Journal said they are the largest newspaper, the largest circulation, they lying because Las Vegas Sun have the same circulation that they have.
Well, technically, you know,
There is, what do you mean technically?
technically,
Truthfully,
well, it's not truthful. It's distorted because the Las Vegas, newspaper, what's it called, the Review Journal, would probably have the same circulation if they didn't include the Sun in it. Okay, but the Sun would have 0 circulation if it wasn't included.
but we're not talking about if, we're talking about reality.
Right, but the
Las Vegas Review Journal, let's say, print 100,000 paper. Las Vegas Sun also printed 100,000 paper. Period. You cannot call them anything else. There is 100,000 circulation in Las Vegas Sun, as much as the Review Journal. You know, and that's why I try to point out when the Review Journal went from 6-column page to 5-column page, they never reduced the advertising rate, and they was cutting off a space for the advertisers. They was calling.
They probably didn't have as many advertisers, if the truth be known.
No, they do have the advertisers. I don't know how they figured out how they can find.
Well,
people.
they'd be putting more space, not less space.
They were saving a lot of money in printing because the paper came down to 2 inches thinner than it was with the 5-column. We went to 5 columns also. We went to 5 columns because everybody else was going 5 columns, and our paper looked ridiculous with 6 columns. It was about this wide. Look at it there. Look at it there. You know, and that's the problem with these people. They are distorting the truth.
That's what they do.
You know, and I don't think it is fair then the readers
Like being in New York City, watching outside the window of the fly.
the readers should not be paying the price for their games, you know, and you know, and sometimes once in a while they get somebody to pay the price. Otherwise, the price go down 40%, 50% reduced price because they can't afford to pay $26,000 for one time full page ads. You know, this is ridiculous.
Well, it's like everything else, it's smoke and mirrors. You can go to a store where you have to have a card to buy anything, and the head of lettuce $4.50 a pound, and you go to another store where you don't need a card and lettuce is 99 cents a pound. So what's the difference is because with a card, some idiots from out of town go to the store and pay $4.50 a pound for the lettuce. So it's a ripoff. So it's all phony baloney, smoke and mirrors. It's all garbage. Everything is a fake job.
Yeah. So in the meantime, we are ignoring all these things. We not, the audience, the citizens are ignoring everything we are telling now. They think that, like Gillespie said, that we are anti-government, anti-police, anti-this, anti-that. No, we are not anti. We are anti-corruption. That's all it is. Corruption is not in our dictionary. It's not in our vocabulary. Corruption should be eliminated in every government, you know. And I realized corruption existed way, way, way before we even were born, you know, but
Well, corruption gets worse every day.
every day. That's
Unless
right.
you go and have a policy to do away with it, it gets worse every single day. It's like a cancer, you have to cut it out entirely, or it's gonna get worse and worse and worse. And you end up like the Roman Empire. Where are they today? Nothing,
Yeah.
because they became a country of consumers instead of producers. Like that's what's happening to America. We don't produce anything anymore, and we're running out of money. That's why we're $20 trillion in debt. So we're going the exact same way that the Roman Empire went. It may take us longer to collapse, but we're on the road to collapse. That's where we're going. And unless we get somebody in the White House that has a sense of how to run things the right way, we're going to be going down the road to collapse.
And I tell you, if Donald Trump defraud me, if Donald Trump betray my hopes and my trust on him, I tell you, nobody else will be able to do it again because I will not trust anybody, nobody at
Well,
all.
so what? The country's gone.
Yeah,
This is the last chance.
I know, but even if he wins, okay, if he wins and he become one of the politicians, he will discourage,
Wow.
he will frustrate me completely.
Well, if he doesn't beat them all and prevent from doing that, who the hell else could ever be in his position? Nobody.
Yeah.
So he's the last hope.
Yeah,
Anybody else would be corrupted. He's the best chance to not be corrupted. Because he knows corruption. He used to corrupt them. He was a corrupter, not the corruptee. And I don't think after being that, you're going to become the corruptee. I just don't think it's possible. If you've been a buyer your whole life, you don't become a buyee. Right?
I guess,
Well, that's my philosophy.
it all
He
depends.
knows corruption. He knows what it does. He knows it's detrimental to the country, and he's going to cut it out. He's not going to be beholden to anybody. He said he looks everybody right in the eye and tells us we're going to work for us. He's going to be our voice. It's not about him. It's about having a voice. He's the voice. And that's why he's running for office, is to be the voice. And I'll tell you what, there are a lot of people listening that were calling him a clown before, and all the names that they tried to attach to him. What happened? What happened? He's been beaten them left and right. Now the article, Trump national polls improving, not the state polls. I mean, they just can't. They're going to be kicking and screaming. By the end of this month, Trump is going to be leading in all the polls. Then what are they going to say? Because Hillary will never come back. This was her last big hurrah. All the distortions, all the lies from the news media have all been exposed. She's got nothing to offer, nothing. And now what's happening with her? You get a continuation of thousands of more emails. You have the WikiLeaks thing. You have all this stuff now from the Department of Justice, where there probably is an investigation on the crime foundation. And then they're not going to raise any more money from any foreign sources if she gets in the White House. What do you mean, if? I mean, why are you raising money from foreign sources to start with? Isn't that against the law? Wasn't someone running a couple cycles ago and there was questions about where this money was coming over the internet? I think it was Obama was raising a lot of money over the internet. And the question was, how will we know this money's not coming from foreign sources? Right? There was a big controversy over that. How do we trail this money? Well, Hillary Clinton's blatantly taking the money from foreign sources. They're publicizing it, for Christ's sake. And some king in Bagaduka, Makahaka, or whatever, just gave $32 million to the Clinton Crime Foundation today or yesterday. What is that for? Do you think that's for aid to Louisiana? Aid for malaria someplace? $32 million to a potential president of the United States?
These people talking about millions like they talking about peanuts. In the meantime, we got more homeless people in the street, more veterans with no place to live, no veterans with, we have more veterans with no health care. We have more veterans sleeping and dying in the street of our cities, and these people are talking about 30 million, 50 million, 100 million, 300 million, 400 million for
Obama drug deal. Just like a drug lord, packaging up money, cellophaning it up.
it was for the kidnapping, whatever
Yep.
you got, the ransom.
Yeah, ransom, yep.
You know, $400 million. You know what that can do for the homeless in America?
Do you know what it can do to kill Americans? That money's going to terrorists. That's the despicable part of it. We're paying $400 million to terrorists that are funding all the terrorist groups, including ISIS. That's where that money's going. And our president sent it there. Now, what kind of president is that? That's not an American, that's a traitor. He should be removed from the White House right now. Why can't we get an immediate trial? Have Larry Klayman, bring him up on charges.
You know what's going to happen? Every other country is going to be kidnapping American people.
We've already had 3 more since then. Yes. 3 separate instances. So here it comes. There's no doubt about it.
Are they asking for money?
Yes. They will be. Who knows?
Oh.
You're not getting any information from the Obamas. When they get caught, they don't come clean. So what are you going to get? Something up front? Are you kidding me?
I had an email today. Then it is fantastic. I'm going to just mention a couple things, you know, from that email. It's too late anyway, because supposedly we hope his term will finish in
If you ever,
in January 8th, you know, but there's no record whatsoever of his wedding.
Obama's?
Yeah. Nobody know where they got married, how they met, nothing. I mean, this is something that they should have done 8 years ago before he became controller of the country, you know. But there's no record. Even Wayne Allen Roots said that he went to the University of somewhere, I can't remember, and supposedly Obama was there. He said he never saw him there.
Wayne Allen Root went to Columbia. He's spoken to most of the classmates that he can still get a hold of. Nobody saw him.
No.
Nobody ever saw Obama there.
Nobody have seen a birth certificate for the 2 girls, Maria and Sacha. these people are incognitos. They are invisibles.
They're in the shadow.
They are. They are worse than the Mexicans. At least the Mexicans that are in the shadow, you can see them in the grocery store and the casino,
driving around there.
everywhere else. But these people have no record of anything, but that's the way it is in America, my friends. Thank you for listening to Face the Tribune. My name is Rolando Lazaz, and I stand behind every word that I have said in this show today. Thank you. God bless you. God bless America. And yes, God bless our troops. I don't care how many times people criticize me for saying that. I say God bless our troops because without those troops, before and after,